يفسر حيرنا تفسيرا نحبه ما نحب خيره نعيش بنعمته وخيره فضل خيره يغطينا فضل.
This story is famous and it's known to occur at the time of King Uljaitu, who later became Muhammad, a Khudai Banda. And just question, let's have a look at the timeline. So Ahmad ibn Hanbal was born in November the year 780 and he died in August the year 855. King Uljaitu, or no Muhammad, was born in March 1282 and he died in December 1316. So Ahmad ibn Hanbal died in the year 855 and then 427 years later in 1282 when Uljaitu was born, so Ahmad ibn Hanbal came back as a ghost. Was this the ghost of Christmas past? Or was he Annabelle the demon doll who travelled 500 years into the future? What is this, Ahmad ibn Annabelle or is it Annabelle ibn Hanbal? You tell me. Also, the historical event ended with the king converting to Shiaism. So what, Ahmad ibn Hanbal converted him to Shiaism? This false narrative has so many holes and flaws. So what's the actual story and what happened? So we read by Mudarris Tabrizi in his book which is known as Rayhanat al-Adab, volume 4, page 169 to 171. What does it say? It says that King Uljaitu held a meeting where he gathered some Sunni scholars and he invited Allama Hilli. When Allama Hilli entered, he put his shoes under his arms and instead of sitting down with the rest of the congregation, he went and sat next to the king. When he was asked about his shoes, he answered, I feared that the Hanafis would steal my shoes, as their head, Abu Hanifa, used to steal the shoes of the Prophet. Immediately the Hanafis objected and said, no, Abu Hanifa did not live at the time of the Prophet, you're lying. So Allama Hilli said, oh, okay, wait, so it wasn't, okay, maybe it was the Shafi'is. Yeah, I think the Shafi'is stole the shoes of the Prophet. So the congregation of the people who followed the madhab of the Shafi'is said, no, Imam, Shafi wasn't even there at the time of the Prophet. No, it was the Malikis. No, Maliki objected and said, no, Malik wasn't at the time of the Prophet. The Hanbalis, same thing. So when all four of them had given the same response, that their leaders and head of states weren't even there at the time of the Prophet, Allama Hilli then turned to the king and said, it turns out that none of the heads of the four schools lived in the period of the Prophet, and therefore they made up their own views. But the Shias follow Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, who was at the time of the Prophet, and he was the wasi and the brother of the Prophet. Allama Hilli then went on to deliver an eloquent lecture, and at the end of the debate, the king converted to Shiaism. This story can also be found in Ayyan al-Shia by Syed Mohsin al-Amin. It can also be found in the following works, volume 3, part 1. So Uljaitu became a Shia, so this can also be seen in Iran, A Chronological History, page 137, and it can also be seen in Shiite Heritage, Essays on Classical and Modern Traditions by Linda Clark on page 336. So what happened? His name was what? Uljaitu, and then he changed his name from Uljaitu to Muhammad Khuda Bande. And this proof can also be seen in Rawdat al-Jannah fi Ahwal al-Ulama, volume 2, pages 279 to 280. Even if you look at the Encyclopedia of History and you look at Britannica.com, you'll also see that this debate made the king convert to Shiaism, and he proclaimed Shiaism to be the state religion of Iran. He also ordered in 1309 to have the coins minted in the names of the Shia 12 Imams, and for the sermons to be delivered in the names of the Shia 12 Imams instead of the Rashidun Khalifs. Also, Kashani wrote this in his Tarikh al-Uljaitu, page 99 to 101, known as the History of Uljaitu, and he mentions the meetings that Allama Hilli had with the king. So if you're going to make a lie and you're going to steal a story and you're going to attribute it to somebody in history, the least you can do is look at the timeline of their births and their deaths and try and find a person that was alive at the time of the event and maybe lie and falsely attribute it to that person. Not Ahmad ibn Hanbal, 400 years after his death, this king is born. Like I said, who is he, Annabelle?